Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Like always, I'm Brian. So I had a friend ask me to help him build a computer, and in exchange for me doing work for free, he let me put some of his components on the channel. So today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Ultra Rogue M925, and that's, right here behind me. So stay tuned because I'm going to show you this case with a little bit of Chanley style. I want to start off by saying that I feel like Ultra is a really under-recognized and underappreciated brand. I've been using them for 10 years now, mostly just power supplies, but to see them put out cases and other things, it's pretty awesome. Part of the reason I picked this for the build is because it's got plenty of space, plenty of options for fans, and we'll get into more of that later, of the options that the case has. But the biggest thing is that it was $50 and it came with a fully modular 750 watt power supply. So really, for 50 bucks, that's basically 25 bucks a pop right there for the power supply and the case, or however you want to split it. But 50 bucks, that's awesome. Their power supplies and the cases, as you can see right there, have a limited lifetime warranty, and most of the time, if you still have your receipt within 5 or 10 years, they'll just send you something new. They're a great company, and really they should get more recognition than, or at least get more recognition like some of the other more popular brands. So anyway, let's go ahead and just get into this. Like the box says, there's the front I/O right here. We got fan controllers, power button reset, LEDs, mesh on the front for, letting air in. Comes with smart fans. Now in the back here, we've got, holes for reservoirs, fan in the back, side panel with a giant opening, dust filters, cable management, hard drive trays, toolless operation, but we'll get into that more in depth. So I'm going to go ahead and open this, and I'll be right back. So I'm not sure if there's any of you out there that actually like watching me struggle to get things out of boxes and hearing the high-pitched squeaks and the banging on the desk and all that stuff, but I just felt like this time I wanted to avoid it. But if you like seeing that, let me know, and next time I'll throw it in the video and you guys can laugh at me. We'll have a good time. So starting with the side panel, you can either have 4 120mm fans or 1 200mm fan. So depending on how much airflow you want or how many available fan headers slash fan controllers you have, you can have a boatload of air just coming in through the side of this case, creating lots of positive pressure, which is a good thing. If you look right here, there's easy access filters for the intake fans, which is pretty awesome. Right down here, there's another filter for the bottom intake fan. And that pretty much wraps it up for the side. Obviously, there's some thumb screws right here, which I'm going to need a screwdriver to open. Just, that's typical manufacturer thing. You put on extra tight so your case doesn't fall apart. But it's supposed to be thumb screws, easy access, but it's never easy access. Now, I like the front of the case. It's pretty stealthy, sleek, one whole piece. It's all ventilated, so you can take these 3 out and add disk drives, whatnot. It's even got a small slot here for if you're still using floppy drives or whatever 3 1/4 bays still exist. I don't know. If you guys know anything that exists besides a floppy, go ahead and just put it in the comments and school me on something, because I'd actually like to know. Everything else below is for fan intakes, and I like how it just has one smooth piece to it. Makes it look very very put together. Not really much to talk about on the back. It's got your 120mm exhaust fan. It's got 4 ports right here with rubber grommets. So if you wanted to, have water cooling on the outside, I know a lot of people don't like that, but if you guys have seen my rig, I think it looks pretty cool having the tubes come out, mount a radiator up here maybe, and just have it kind of loop around real quick. I think it looks cool. It adds a conversation starter about your computer, and it draws your eyes to the computer because it's not really a natural look. Maybe it's just the way I like it. But a lot of people like to be stealthy and hide everything inside, so I understand. It's not your preference. I think it's pretty cool. Or you can have cables running out for temperature sensors, or whatever you want. It's nice. It's got little vents right here. Your power supply mounts in the bottom, and then like I said here, it's a little bit harder to pull out than I thought it would be. Oh, that is mounted in there. Oh, there it goes. And then there's another filter right here for your power supply intake. So they really thought this through. I love fan filters. I don't know if you guys know that, but I love fan filters. I think I talk about it enough. The only thing they didn't have was a fan filter for this side, but you could really buy a generic one for like 10 or 15 bucks. Magnetic, slap it on there, good to go. That pretty much wraps up the back, so I'm going to go find a screwdriver and take care of this real quick. Alright, so easy pull off on the side panels. Nothing real difficult there. And I guess if you really wanted to, you could interchange them and just hide that all together or whatnot. Now this I actually think is pretty awesome. There's already a bunch of pre-routed cables and a whole bunch of like plastic. No, it's like feels kind of rubbery, but I'm pretty sure it's just plastic. Yeah. And surprise from the factory. It's like plasticky, papery stuff. Whatever. Sorry, ADD moment. I'll keep going. Anyway, it's already got a bunch of pre-ran cables. It's got ties here in the corners. It's got all this cable management stuff built into it, which I think is really awesome. It's got your regular little bends in the metal to attach things to it. And then it's got, yeah, it's got about, you know, that much, whatever centimeter, maybe more, however thick my fingers are. It's got a decent amount of space in there to run cables all the way down and behind, and then everything's recessed, so it actually gives you more space right here. Yeah, I really like that they added this, and like I said earlier, for 50 bucks to have this built in, that's a premium right there. I like it. I really do. Oh, they put a twist tie right here. That's the thing I don't like so far. They put, you could have thrown something a little bit better in than that. Whatever, I can't really complain. 50 bucks, man. It's an awesome case. All right, so we'll move up to the top and then see what's on the inside. I actually just noticed this. They took the time to label all the cables. So this one says top fan 1. There's one back here that says top fan 2. This is rear fan. This is front fan 2 and front fan 1. So that way, when you replace it, you don't have to struggle to figure out where things go. That's pretty sweet. I haven't seen anyone label the cables before like that. That's pretty awesome. Now, just to get this out of the way, the top does support 220mm fans, so you could probably mount, you know, we'll talk about that when we get inside the case. But what I really wanted to talk about is this front I/O. Now, it looks pretty nice. It's got you got your stop, low, high for your fans. For your top, it says front fan, top fan, rear fan. So you got toggles for all your fans, which is really nice. But this is what I think is pretty cool. Slide that open. You got USB ports, headphones, microphone, and an SD card that reads multiple size SDs. And it has dust filters for everything. Now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, one end of them. Yep. So these are USB 2.0 and these are USB 3.0, which that's pretty sweet. I like the covers. That's awesome. And then you just hide it away. And it's got a nice little textured pattern right here. So if you want to like stash things up here, like, I don't know, thumb drives or something, it's not really, I guess it's still going to slide around. But, you know, it's not going to scratch up the case because it's got a nice little texture to it. You obviously got your power button, your reset button, your hard drive light, and then your fan LEDs on and off. So the fans on the front light up, which is a pretty cool feature. And then no handle, but get another nice little ridge for if you're like me, you can just, you know, stash things on top of your computer like you're not really supposed to, but I do it anyway. Just in case I forgot to mention it before we go inside, this is a full-size tower, and it is about 7 inches wide or 185 millimeters, so that gives you an idea how deep you can actually get or how tall of a CPU cooler you can buy. I'm pretty sure you can fit just about anything in here. If you can find something that's taller than 180 inches, then wow, that is a big air cooler. One thing I forgot to mention, or I didn't notice, is it actually has like a little lock back here, so you can lock up your computer. It makes it harder to steal. I really like this feature. It's, you don't want your shit getting stolen. Let's just be honest. All right, so let's go into the case now. I've babbled on enough. You got your standard plugs here. You got your USB 3.0, your HD audio, USB 2.0, and your SD card reader. We already talked about that. All the normal power reset, hard drive light, power LEDs. You know, your usual what's inside of a case kind of deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 PCI slots. Alright, so let's just start over here. If you notice right here, there's actually a metal bracket diagonal right here. It's really enforcing the case. It's very sturdy. Honestly, I wouldn't even see why you would need to reinforce this case, but they felt the need to. And you know what? The sturdier, the better. If you look down here, there is about 15 millimeters right there between the bottom of the case and these rubber risers. Then that's where the power supply sits. So I'm not too sure how that's going to work out, since there's, you know, this much of a gap between the power supply and the case. So the fan filter might not pick up everything. The case might actually pull in air from the bottom of the case and instead of from underneath the case. Not really sure how that's going to affect it, but it's got, like I said, it's got this padding right here, so it's really going to cut down on the vibrations and any kind of noise that the power supplies would make or transfer energy into the case. And we all know vibrations in cases and hard drives don't really go well together. Alright, bring it this way. We already talked about the 120 millimeter fan intake for the bottom. Now we've got the sleds. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hard drive sleds, and I want to show you these. These are really sweet. If you look, you can actually mount a fan to the bottom of these hard drive cages to keep your hard drives cool, so blow up at the bottom of your hard drive, which is awesome. They don't really come... I haven't seen any like old school fan like coolers in a long time. I had one way back like 15 years ago, but I haven't seen one in a long time. Anyway, they also have the holes for SSDs, and yeah, and then it's got built-in like brackets, right, or little pegs right here to hold in a regular size hard drive. That's pretty sweet. This is another thing that I think is pretty sweet. It's toolless, and this whole rack just slides right out, which is awesome. Then here's something I think is also really cool. You can actually take this sled off, screw it to the bottom of here, and slide in a hard drive like that. So you can have a hard drive which is easy to take in and out, but you still have all this airflow right here. I think that's a really thought out idea. It's pretty awesome. The trays also have mounting brackets here, so you can add fans right here to help pull air through the case, even though you have fans right here, increasing your airflow and just helping with the whole dynamic of constantly moving air inside the case. Alright, I guess we're up to the box of goodies now. Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about real quick is the clearance. Yeah, you have about 30 millimeters and just slightly over an inch between where the I/O of the motherboard stops. So basically right here to the top. I'm sorry if that just made a whole bunch of noise. So I'm not sure if you could fit an all-in-one cooler in there. You know, I'll get back to you guys after we actually build it and I can see what it would look like. But I'm going to say you're probably not going to be able to mount an all-in-one cooler up there. Just to be safe, I may be eating my words. Stay tuned to the end of the video where I throw in what happened after we built this. Alright, so the box of goodies. We got our Velcro strips, which are really nice. Okay, these brackets, I'm going to save these brackets for later. These things are awesome. We'll get back to that. You got your, I guess, an extender for the 8-pin power for the top of the motherboard, I guess, so you can get it through here easier, because there is a small gap, but there really wasn't a hole cut out specifically for that piece, so that's pretty awesome. We've got all the hardware goodies. Looks like plenty of screws, little paper washers, which is cool. Long screws to mount fans. Oh, not sure if you guys can see that. They actually included a motherboard speaker. You don't see that anymore. Cases with motherboard speakers, That's pretty cool. That's like a $2 or $3 little thing right there. We got plenty of rubber grommets for the feet. Not for the feet, but wherever you would mount a hard drive, there's plenty of rubber grommets to help cut down on the vibration. We have two magnetic. Yeah, look, they look magnetic. But two magnetic fan filters, which go up into the top, which I'm not exactly sure why you would do that. Try to filter the air going out. Maybe in case you have fans coming in, you can add those. Or, I don't know, maybe you can figure out where you can add these to somewhere else. Or buy two more and add them to the sides. That'd be pretty sweet. That way you'd have, you know, your fan filters here pulling in. That would pretty much cover it. We've got some twist ties. Not zip ties, but twist ties. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm more of a zip tie guy. Twist ties can unravel. Yeah, they just kind of fall apart. Obviously, you got your warranty card that you can send in. And then the multi-language M250 or M925 case, instructions. Alright, now let's get into the cool stuff. This is some more features that I think is awesome for this case. This is a stabilizing bracket for the GPU on your computer. And it actually mounts right here. And this slides up and down. You can mount it any way, however you want to angle this portion right here. And it's foam and soft, so it's not going to damage your graphics card, but it's still going to give it plenty of support. And you know, when you got those really long, heavy graphics cards with, in some cases like me, I've got full copper water blocks on there. It really does droop no matter how much you try to, you know, stop it. And that's a really awesome feature to be in a case. Now this is multi-purpose brackets. Let's say you needed to use that 3¼ inch bay right down here for, you know, whatever optical drive or card readers. That's another one. You can get card readers that are 3¼ So not only just floppies, card readers. You mount that here, and that gives you a space to mount with the toolless option right there, which I will get back to. Or you mount a fan to it. If you don't have an optical drive, you put a fan here, and you mount that inside, and you can use that to pull air through the top, adding a third fan, which would make that, you know, 360 millimeters of intake coming in through the front. So you can add another fan. That's pretty sweet. Now I did skip over this, and I'm sorry, but there is a toolless thing right here. It's got a nice knob on it, plastic, and it's spring loaded. And what you do is you just line it up where it needs to go, or yeah, and then you just press in and twist, and it's got like a screw behind it there, and it'll screw into whatever, you know, your optical drive or whatever else is there. Now this case does support smaller motherboards, obviously, and they're not just going to make it full ATX only. And you can add in the brackets here and here, and there's actually little cutouts for smaller hard drive, or not smaller hard drives, for smaller motherboards, which I think is pretty sweet. And there's plenty of cutouts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cutouts for, you know, you got your audio over here. Actually, you know what, that might not be a hole, since that's where the power supply sits. That's actually just a bend right here to hold the power supply a little more stable. I don't think you can actually get something through there. Never mind, scratch that. So only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cutouts, plus the 2 in case you have a smaller motherboard. So, since I was already taking things apart, I figured I'd just pull the front off and show you guys that this is what it looks like on the inside here. You got big old cutout to fit, I don't know what the hell you want to fit in there. If you're already running fan cables, it's honestly kind of pointless that they have the hole in the fan cable running through here when you could have just ran it through the side. I might actually take that off and rerun that, because that's just silly. But then again, you could also run cables out here and throw LEDs in the front in case you didn't want LED fans. And like, there's a nice gap right there for an LED. Add some stuff over here and just really make the whole front of your case glow. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing. If not, then, you know, you got plenty of space for space. And now, just to compare this to basically the only other full-size tower that I own personally, I have a Corsair 400R. This has way much more size, way more features, just all around just all around better. Like, I'm jealous. I want this case instead. And it was like half the price as the Corsair 400R. You really can't complain. Plus, it comes with a power supply. Right now, I'm happy and I'm excited about this, but stay tuned till basically the end of the video, and I'll throw in what happened during the build, possible cons to this. But right now, this is a great build, especially for, you know, 50 bucks after mail and rebate. I probably should throw that in there, but whatever, 50 bucks. I'm not lazy. I do my rebates. It's 50 bucks. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I have to pay so much first. Well, if you know what, if you saved up for your computer, you spend the money, you wait, you get your rebate, you spend it on something else for a different part of the computer, and you're good. Like, I don't... Are you guys just... maybe leave me something in the comments. Are rebates that scary? Are they that awful? Really, it takes like 10 or 20 minutes of your life total for an entire build. Everything's digital now. You might have to mail in a UPC. Oh, boo-hoo. It's not hard, and then you get hundreds of dollars back depending on what kind of rebates you get. Like, this is an awesome thing to me. I'll do it every single time. Like, a big fan of rebates. Like, don't let them keep your money. Why? That's the scam. They want to keep your money because they think you're lazy. Don't prove them right. Alright, so the build's done, and this is actually one of the easiest cases I've ever had to build in. There's plenty of space everywhere. The cable management system made everything smooth. I didn't even do the cable management. The guy that we built it for, he did all the cable management, and he did a really good job, even though it was his first time. So this case just makes it that much easier for cable management. The one hiccup we did run into is that this sled right here was in the way of the graphics card. And so what happened is you take the rails off, and you can attach just single hard drive sleds to the rails and lock it in place. I don't know if we're actually supposed to put one up here, but I wanted to have the option for more hard drives. So we put those two here, and then you have all the hard drive space down here. And really the only complaint that I have about this case is that it uses really outdated standoffs and hard drive screws to hold the motherboard in place. Well, basically the hard drive screws are, the threads on them are very closely spaced, and they're extremely thin, so they strip out really easily. So other than that, man, this case is great. You just got to be really careful when you put your motherboard in. Don't tighten it down too hard. This seems to be working just fine. I can't really complain. It's just with all the other options for standoffs, for a case this new, to have something that old, it just kind of throws me off a little bit. But yeah, I can't complain at all. This computer looks great. There's plenty of space for activities. I even like the little green or the yellow glow back here for the separation from the sound to the actual motherboard, which is a really nice touch. One other thing I forgot to talk about is I put the stabilizing bar in for the graphics card, but the graphics card was so wide I couldn't install it normal. I had to install it underneath and press it up. Lining up the incredibly long screw, it's about that long, that was the hardest part, really. After everything lined up, it's really stable, and I think it looks pretty cool, but you know, some people don't like it. But yeah, that's the build. Let me know if you guys like this case, what you think about the build. If you have any questions about the build, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Alright guys, so this was the unboxing of the Ultra Rogue M925, done Chanley style.